All right, welcome. Welcome to today's episode. Today, we are talking about 9 to 5s. Are 9 to 5s a scam? Are we better off having our own business? What we're going to also talk about is what we actually do, because let's be honest, nobody knows what an actuary is, what we actually do day to day. And also, both of us have got some news as well.
Moving jobs.
We thought and it's an appropriate time to kind of discuss the whole situation.
Yeah. I think when you hear the news about talking about the job market, obviously it's very reflective of, it's only in isolation to people's careers. Like, someone may work in retail, someone may work in a warehouse, someone may work in a corporate job, someone may work in fashion. I think obviously our backgrounds are our backgrounds, and I think it's important that we discuss them because firstly it may be relatable to someone in the same position, but also it gives context to our views. I guess but our views are from our place of how we see the world and the environment that we're in. I think that's the important thing.
But when you talk about the job market, though, right, it's predominantly aimed at graduates. Graduates, I find it very difficult to find a job.
Yeah.
But that's
that's the way we're doing it. So I guess leading into what do we do, where's our backgrounds, before we start talking about is 9 to 5 a scam, we need to look at it through the lens, because my lens has flip-flopped between the two.
Yeah.
In a sense, in the journey I've taken. We've been working for the last 10 years. I'm 30, graduated at 21. So I've been working coming up to 10 years. I think we do have a good amount of experience to firstly talk about this. But I think, like I said, the context of, we done a degree called actuarial science. It's not a common degree. People may have not heard of it. But at the same time, it's a degree that leads into the world of insurance, looking at risk management. You can obviously go into different fields and different areas of it. Not going to go into too much technical detail, but I would like to think we're decent at numbers.
Yeah.
We're decent at spreadsheets. I tell people who don't know it that I'm a bit of a finance bro.
It is very mathematical, statistical, and coding-based degree. And what my work involves I work in the pricing side of insurance. So I will work with pricing models to basically calculate premiums. I look at how much claims that we've received, looking at expenses and making us competitive in the market and giving prices out. We do this by various different methods, but also we use behavioral models, looking at like elasticity, conversion retention models, creating basically algorithms to enhance the price and basically trying to maximize our expected profits.
If I ask Bijo, what do you do? Would she be able to regurgitate this answer?
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
When I used to work as an actuary, I used to say to my mum, "What's an actuary?" And she'll just go blank. But she'll be so proud. "Oh, my son's an actuary. My son's an actuary." I say, "Mum, what's an actuary?" I don't know. I guess you've stayed in that field since you've started working. Basically, you've been in there. You've done a bit. You underwriting a bit?
No. So I was in exposure management. So
first.
Working in terrorism. I started working off in terrorism insurance. It's kind of looking at the exposure of risk that we would write. Then I moved into reserving and portfolio.
You done reserving?
Bit of reserving.
At the health company?
Yeah, reserving and portfolio analytics, really. Then, most recently is pricing. So it's been kind of nice, varied, very different varies of work, basically.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I think it's also quite important to kind of discuss on kind of the different types of insurance as well. So we can go on to that, because obviously people see it from a personal lines basis, right?
Yeah, of course. Insurance just isn't house, travel, home. insurance, like the risks that we've worked on and the markets that we worked on is like, there's a whole world of insurance that you don't even know that exists. Like, I think,
But how about you give our listeners your background?
yeah, my background's a bit different because I've had a bit of a career journey. I went through like a traditional path, started working at insurance companies. First as like a data analyst at the company Tesh is at now, actually. And then I moved on to working into what is called reserving. So it's ensuring insurance companies have enough money to pay its future liabilities. Obviously for regulatory purposes, for just safeguarding to make sure that, you know, the risk that you take on, the liabilities can be met. You need to make sure that you hold enough money today for the future. And it's essentially doing statistical modeling and using statistical software to project those numbers.
Really not selling.
I found no.
It
Listen.
It sounds so,
I was going to segue into that.
so-
I was going to segue healthily into that. I found that very boring. I find it very repetitive. I found myself at companies working very long hours because it was very deadline driven, and it kind of, in a healthy way, caused me to look elsewhere and review where I was going in my career. I started moving into some more portfolio management and portfolio analyst roles, which I did very much enjoy. But I still didn't really feel fulfilled. And after like 5 years of working in this area, I decided to apply as a manager for a content creator, an internship actually. I was working Monday at my flat one day and I was like, I just can't be bothered for this shit anymore. I was like, I saw this job, let me apply for it. Didn't expect to hear anything back, and I got an interview and a job offer, and like I just started a new job. I was like 2-3 months in, my highest salary I've ever earned. Living in a 1-bedroom flat by myself.
What company was this at?
Key.
Okay, yeah, I remember Key. Yeah.
And I decided on the Friday, I'm handing in my notice. And on the Monday, I started in on like a minimum wage internship.
Yeah, wow.
So yeah, I took a full 360 U-turn, and through the few years after that, I was working in for a period of about a year. Decided to move on to a more corporate, or just to give some context, the content creator worked in fashion and lifestyle. So then I continued that by working at the brand H&M, which owns a company called COS. So I was working for the brand called COS, obviously owned by H&M, which is probably more familiar with people watching this. And yeah, I've been there for nearly 3 years, but I'm actually doing a 360 U-turn where I'm now going back to a more corporate environment, kind of going back to my roots, I would say, working in insurance, but I'm not going into like being an actuary or reserving, pricing. I'm working in is what's called underwriting. So I'm going back as a senior portfolio analyst, working in the underwriting team. And yeah, I'm actually quite excited for this chapter in my life. I can't lie. Like,
That sounds.
yeah, my trajectory is a bit different. So maybe the views that I have will be a bit, yours has been a bit more of a steady, kind of consistent path. I've seen not both sides, but I've taken a bit of a detour, and
Yeah.
I guess we can touch upon that in
But that is
a bit later.
You've been very fortunate that you've had the background that to actually you can go out and try something, but you had this to actually fall back on.
Yeah.
So like, you know, when parents actually be like, well, when I was growing up, I went to like be a footballer or something, right? But my parents would like say, make sure you go and get an education so you have that to fall back on.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, you doing the actual actuarial science, and then actually going away trying wanting to do different things, but you always had that, you know, you could actually fall back onto this. And come
Yeah,
back
and it's
into
not to say what I was
insurance
doing was bad, by the way. It's nothing like people, the area of work that I was working in, people work there as their full-time job for the rest of their lives. It's nothing that's bad.
But why did the switch back from?
Yeah, I guess for me, it was, to give some context, I think we've spoken about it before, I had a bit of a knee injury last year. I've been off my feet. The career, that obviously made me feel quite stagnant in my life. And then in my actual career, my progression had become stagnant as well. My manager left, I was told to apply for his job, went through that process, took about 2-3 months until I was waiting an outcome, and lo and behold, I didn't even hear an outcome. Decided to look elsewhere, found a role, and what I found out with the original role I applied for at the company I was at,
But I think
was that they made it a 6-month contract and they're getting rid of it.
But why did you decide to go back into insurance rather than stay within the fashion?
Yeah,
industry?
I guess that's a good question. I guess for me, I felt at a stage in my life where I needed to make progression, and the main area was that financially. So financially, the insurance market is a lot better than like working in fashion e-commerce. Is from what I found from experience, the salary progression and just at the similar skill set that I have. Like I have this for the same skill set, I've nearly like doubled my salary. That makes sense.
Yeah. So basically, it was
Salary.
very financially.
Yeah, and
motivated.
for the area I'm in my life now, just turning 30, I kind of want to succeed and excel in certain areas of my life which require finances.
Yeah.
But there's also the other part. I would say that this is not to downshame anyone, but from working in a place that was very mentally challenging, I kind of missed that mental challenge of being around quite clever people that stimulate me from a different point of view and kind of challenge me technically. I felt like the work I was doing was very easy. I was very comfortable. I could do my job and like 2-3 days in 2-3 days of the week.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I'm not saying I want to work flat out, but I just need something more stimulating again to feel like
Challenging.
Yeah, I feel like there's cobwebs in my brain that were developing.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. I'm with you.
So there is that aspect as well, and I'm ready to be out in the world. I want to go to the office. I want to interact and have those conversations. And
So, also, what in this new role, what are you going to be actually doing on a new day-to-day basis? Maybe we could talk about the different lines of insurance that you'll be working on as well, so people can actually have a understanding of the different types of insurance that are
I'm a senior portfolio analyst. So obviously, you can have portfolio analyst roles in any industry, but working in underwriting, it's more. We write a book of insurance. We have premium targets which we need to achieve to get certain growth that the company wants to achieve, and it's about ensuring that the growth that we are seeing from the varying lines of business that you just touched upon is within the risk appetite of the company. Because obviously, if you're writing insurance business, you can take on every single risk in the world, but it may not be a profitable risk. So there's a balance of growing and being profitable at the same time, and the different lines of insurance are like sports insurance, for example, is quite interesting. So like there's golfers, there's footballers in the UK that need to be insured. There's agriculture.
But when you say, for example, footballers, you're talking about the clubs actually insuring their players. So if they get injured, you will be paying out their salaries.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not like
Covering loss of limbs, things like that. There's agriculture. There's obviously your typical property, but maybe more commercial risks. Like you could say rather than houses, individual houses, you could say like the shard, big industrial buildings. We've also got some cargo insurance, or like transportation of like through marine. So like obviously
big ships.
ships.
And so forth.
And I think the company is looking to expand out into different areas like medical malpractice. So it's quite a very interesting risk. Not your typical home travel. I guess for you, what are your
Yeah. So what I work on currently is your typical home insurance and motor insurance. So you would go out onto your price comparison websites, and you look for your car insurance. I will calculate those premiums.
you're doing motor? You do that now?
I do currently home and motor. Well, I've just transferred over to the motor team. But what I will be doing in my new role is moving on to commercial lines. So I'll be looking at commercial properties, as you just mentioned, like buildings such as a shard. Big, large commercial units instead of your typical homes. Alongside that will be more kind of casualty insurance as well. So people who have these commercial units that have employees that maybe get injured and basically try to sue the company, and basically will pay for like the legal defences and so forth, and not personal liability insurance. So there'll be opportunities for work in like aviation as well, so fleets of aeroplanes and marine as well. So yes, it's going to be
It makes the job more interesting.
Yeah.
Like having these different risks, and
Yeah.
it's actually interesting industries because, like, for example, sports. We're both into sports.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I'm actually like kind of linked to it as well. So
go into more kind of these speciality
Yeah,
types of insurance where it's more difficult to actually, it's more challenging to insure it a correct premium, be competitive, and making those profits really.
yeah.
So
I guess in an ideal world, if we were at the same company, we would kind of be working together, wouldn't we?
yeah,
We're in different teams, but the underwriters
yeah, we'll be working
work with you because you're pricing it, and we need to make sure that the risk that we're taking on is adequately priced. So we would lean on you guys for that technical information.
Yeah, exactly.
I think one thing I'm excited about my new role is that it's more commercial now. Like when they were telling me that they went to one of the horse racing, like they got taken out to like
Yeah.
doing things like that. So it's more front facing rather than what I previously done. It's just like numbers behind the screen, very nerdy, if you want to say,
Yeah.
like boring people, not in a rude way.
Very behind the computer. Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm very excited. I'm obviously excited to have you back in the city. I've recently moved back down to London as well, so being in the office more and seeing people.
I guess to give context, like one of the best like things is that we work, like all the insurance companies are located together. So previously, when I was working in insurance, you were based in London. We would be 5-10 minutes away, walking distance from each other. So we'll be having lunch together. We're going gym together.
Yeah.
But during lunch, after work, meeting up, everything, we'll see each other a lot more frequently. And obviously, I moved out of the industry. You moved to Birmingham, so it kind of changed the dynamic. So I'm excited to actually be back in the city and like have that
Opportunity to see.
we're all doing like, it's weird because it's all coming at the same time. Like you're moved down, I'm here. We've got other friends in the city as well. So
Yeah.
it's like a good place to be, knowing that your friends are around you as well.
Yeah, and it just makes it that a bit more fun and enjoyable as well.
Yeah.
That actually, yeah, it's just we're all working in the same industry and working very closely to each other.
Yeah, yeah.
And we can literally be like, should we do something after work today?
Yeah, on the fly. Like it's a Thursday or Friday, weather's good, can do something.
Exactly.
I guess the question is though, obviously we kind of both feel excited for these new jobs that we're going into, and it's a new change for us.
Yep.
I guess the real question is that do you enjoy what you do? Like your working experience over the last 9 years.
I think
Do you feel you enjoy this field? Do you feel you enjoy the nature of work, or is it something that you kind of it sits okay with you and it pays the bills and it does that? Or
it's a mix because like any kind of work or industry people work in, right? There can be peaks and troughs. It's interesting to learn about different things, the technical aspect, and it is challenging. It can be very stressful at times when you have tight deadlines, but it gives you the opportunity to actually work in kind of a technical aspect and actually learn from. You're surrounded by really intelligent people, and you're learning from those. And it helps you grow as a individual. But yeah, when it can be very stressful, very deadline orientated, and very a bit too challenging at times. But you need to find that right balance.
how do you find the people you work with?
I think that's one of the next things I was going to mention actually is everybody I work with, I really enjoy working with people. Do you know what I mean? And just being like, I really miss being in the office and being in that atmosphere because it's more kind of a kind of working in insurance is very social. It's actually a very social industry to work in. Everybody's going always at lunchtime. Everybody's going to the pub, going for lunch, and it's very probably alcohol, beer orientated.
But do you enjoy that, or do you feel you force it?
I
For me, when I was in that industry, I didn't really enjoy that because I don't mind having a drink, but forcing it with people I don't really get along with, for me is a bit of a waste of time.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, but no.
So it's like I get what you mean, like, but I just like I'd rather do it because like with you and like friends, I don't mind going for a drink, like I enjoy it. But with people that I don't really have much to say to or don't really get along with on a personal level, why would I then want to spend time outside of work having that with you?
No, but I think I like going out and have been socializing, but no, I feel like I really enjoyed the people who I worked with as well. Do you know what I mean?
Throughout all your jobs?
Yeah. Like I still keep in touch with people from my first job, and we still go out for beers and drinks together.
Really?
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So like we have really built good relationships, and
That's weird. The only people that I would keep in touch with and probably would is from my most recent job, working in fashion. No one from insurance. I've felt, I want to keep in contact with you.
People I invited people from work, even from current and previous jobs, to my wedding, been invited to their wedding and so forth. So we've built good relationships. So, but yeah, I really do enjoy that kind of social aspect as well. It is, and like working in the city of London, it's a beautiful actually place to actually work in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're working in lovely offices, there's loads going on. It's a nice kind of buzz to be in that city. But one thing though, I was in the office on Friday, and Fridays just aren't the same though, because nobody comes in anymore.
Because Thursday is the new Friday.
Yeah, well, Thursday was always the new Friday. Do you know what I mean?
I think after COVID.
But after COVID, nobody's in on Friday, which is it's a bit sad to me actually, because we were at that time where actually we used to meet up on Friday night after and do things and so forth. So yes, it's.
I quite like the idea. You have a blowout on Thursday.
Yeah.
Friday you work from home, recover, and you can still enter your weekend.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
At least Saturday you're fresh.
Be hungover in company's time. Yeah.
Not a great thing to say, but.
But that's what one of my managers said. Like, yeah, but like,
it's better to be hungover on company's time.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But it's like.
And everything's a lot quieter on Fridays in general.
Yeah, exactly.
Less emails, less people.
But frankly, we do work very hard during the week as well.
Course.
Do you know what I mean? It's not a standard 9 to 5. When you have deadlines, you're working late, you're starting early, and you're working through your lunch break. You're not working these set hours.
Yeah.
Like you put in the time to actually. Yeah, and you have deserved that kind of.
I guess that, just touching on that, that's kind of made me question, like, is the 9 to 5 a scam? When I was working at a certain company where I was working in reserving, and I was working like 9 to 9, logging in on weekends, missing lunch breaks, and I was like, I'm doing all this work for what?
Yeah.
Like, no one like for what? And it's just like, it turned from a 9 to 5 to like a 9 to 8, 9 to 9, and that's what kind of made me consider other paths, if that makes sense. So my negative experience of, working long hours was like...
But did that happen at every single company that you...
Not every single company, but like you said, there's peaks and troughs. I don't think I ever fully recovered from that peak company. Yeah. The company after was a bit better, was a bit better. I can't lie. But then there was a company like Key, the last company I left at. There was a Friday that I was working till like 7 o'clock, for example. There was like another Friday where I had to go out and then log on Saturday morning to finish some shit off.
Yeah, it's long days. Yeah.
It's just like those instances of where it's eating into my own personal time, and it's like, but I don't know if it was an issue with me for caring too much as well.
Yeah, I think
that I just needed to detach from work and be like, you know what? No one else, like some guys going to Lake District, so the work's left on me. Why am I picking it up?
But the other thing is the fact that at that time you're probably more junior in your role, right?
Well, the last role I did kind of progress to a more mid role, but I would say those early ones was like 9 to 9.
Yeah,
that was like definitely more junior. So you're trying to prove yourself.
So
you're trying to prove your wealth, but it's just like. It kind of, I don't know, it eats away at you, man.
What I have noticed is, when I first started and early on in my career, it was a lot of hours. I used to finish, you and Saeed, we used to go to the gym after work. There was like times where actually you guys had just finished. It was like 8, 9 o'clock and I was just getting there. Do you know what I mean?
There were instances of that.
Yeah, so like but now as I've kind of grown, and I think obviously it helps that like I've probably improved in my skills and can be able to do things more efficiently, but also manage time and manage expectations better as well. Like pushing back, saying that actually this is not an achievable target really. And yeah, pushing back, it's not going to get done. But you have to, kind of manage those expectations and be realistic as well, because at the end of the day, I realised that actually working all these hours sometimes doesn't lead to rewards.
Yeah, it doesn't. I think the thing you're sold is that the harder I work, the longer I work, there's a linear relationship with what I'm going to get at the end.
Yeah.
And it isn't.
It isn't.
It is not like that at all. If anything, the more senior you get, the more responsibility you have. And therefore, there is more pressure on you to deliver that.
Yeah.
Is what I found as well. When you have people like under you, you can't just be the one to push the responsibility to someone above you.
Yeah.
If that makes sense as well. But yeah, I guess going back to the question, do you enjoy what you do? For me, I found it very boring. Like, not boring, but that's kind of I wanted to do something more, not creative, but actually enjoy what I do.
Yeah.
That's what caused me to go into those other paths and actually seek other things. But now I see the balance of like, oh, you can do something you enjoy, but the money wasn't there as much as well. So it's like, in this period of my life, for that period of my life, that's what served.
Yep.
But now in this period of my life, the money is the primary factor. So
you
now
have
I'm
to
like,
adapt to the situation,
it's not like, in my head, I'm not like, oh, I'm going to secure, I'm not going to stay in this for like 20, 30 years. But for this season in my life, it is what I essentially need to get me to where I want to go. And if I do want to pivot, I'm very grateful for the all-rounded experiences and skill sets that I have now. And I think I'm in a better stage to deal with a more corporate job in insurance with where I am currently at in my personal life as well. I think it's very important to highlight your personal life can really impact your professional life if you don't deal with it in like the correct ways. If you have a lot of noise and mess going on, it can just make that the difficulty of your like 9 to 5 a lot harder to deal with. If you're working long hours and being stressed at work and then you've got shit at home to deal with, that's just like an even bigger pile of shit. Is the way I see it.
Yeah. Yes.
And
you need that.
You need a balance. If you don't like, one thing I've learned is that I didn't build a good life for myself outside of work, which made it a lot harder for me to deal with work. I didn't have like, oh, I'm definitely going on holiday, then I'm going traveling, then I have things to look forward to. I was like, oh, I'll do it when I come to it, if I didn't make sense. I didn't have like breaks, for example.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, I'll take a few days off here, use my annual few days off here, and then like, oh yeah, I'll find out, like, I'll book a holiday then. But I never actually like said this year at the beginning of the year, I've already booked 3 holidays. Yeah. I'm going to Miami, I've booked Dubai, I've booked Malta, and I'm trying to book another trip. So I know this is going to me to switch off and relax and rejuvenate and experience things. It's like having those, you're never going to know it perfectly, but you just learn from your past experiences.
But it's important to have that right balance as well, because when you were working in insurance, there were times that we were going on holiday and you'd be like, no, you're more focused on other things, but actually, it's kind of important to kind of switch off and reward yourself for all that hard work that you put in as well. Do you know what I mean?
And I guess that's one of the benefits of 9 to 5s. I guess we could talk about the benefits of actually having a 9 to 5 is the paid annual leave. Like some people say, oh, I only get 25 days off a year, 12 paychecks a year, but you do get paid to go on holiday, which is a good benefit. But I got a lot of holidays. I got more structure and things to look forward to for the rest of my year, and that's kind of one thing that I've learnt as I've gotten older. And I think if there's anyone that's watching this and they're struggling with managing a 9 to 5 in their own personal life, I think you need to just reward yourself with leisure time and relaxation and just a chance to switch off and have a break, because you can't just go at it all 24/7. Even if you have lots of ambition and you want to do well and you want to succeed, you need to balance it off with, leisure time and actually blocking that out in advance. And that was a mistake that I never
resetting. And
Yeah,
just
done.
find yourself and burnout.
Yeah, so like work hard maybe for 12 weeks, have a holiday to look forward to. 12 weeks, have a holiday to look forward to, because like you said, I felt I burnt out, and I'm sure other people may be suffering from that as well.